The scent of soy and champagne mixed with something metallic she recognized instantly. Danger. Zara Mitchell moved between tables at Serenity with a tray balanced on her palm and 3 years of buried instincts screaming in her skull. Girl, listen. Some moments crack your life clean in half, before and after, and Zara was about 2 seconds away from hers. She was 27 years old. Black woman with braids that fell past her shoulders and eyes that had seen things no waitress should ever know how to recognize. Eyes that right now were locked onto something that made her blood run cold. A tiny red dot, sniper-grade laser sight, dancing across the temple of the most dangerous man in Los Angeles. Min Jun Park sat at the VIP table like he owned gravity itself. 35 years old, jaw sharp enough to cut glass, the kind of stillness that came from knowing exactly how dangerous you were and not needing to prove it. His bodyguards flanked him like shadows, but they were looking the wrong direction. The threat was coming from the parking structure across the street. 3rd floor, eastern corner. 1.2 seconds until the shooter had a clean shot. She moved. The tray clattered to the ground as she leaned down, her lips brushing his ear close enough to smell sandalwood and something darker underneath. "Duck," she whispered. His body reacted before his mind caught up. He dropped sideways just as the window behind him exploded into 1,000 glittering pieces. 2 bullets buried themselves in the wall exactly where his skull had been half a heartbeat earlier. Chaos erupted, screaming filled the restaurant. Glass rained down everywhere. Bodyguards drew weapons and shouted. But through all of it, Min Jun Park's eyes found hers and held on. Dark brown meeting dark brown. Recognition passing between strangers who somehow understood each other already. "Who are you?" he demanded, his voice cutting through the pandemonium. Zara straightened up, her heart hammering against her ribs. She should run, should disappear into the chaos and never look back. But his eyes would not let her go. "Nobody," she said. "Just a waitress with good reflexes." He smiled then, not a nice smile, the kind that said he could spot a lie from across the room. Nobody does not calculate bullet trajectory in under a second. And nobody smells like military-grade weapon oil underneath her perfume. What if I told you that everything she believed about her quiet new life was about to shatter, because that whisper had just put her on the radar of every enemy Min Jun Park had ever made? The alley behind the restaurant smelled like rain and garbage. Her keys were already in her hand when the shadows moved, black sedan blocking the exit, 2 men in dark suits with postures that screamed professional violence, and leaning against the brick wall like he had been waiting for years, Min Jun Park. "Miss Mitchell." Her name sounded different in his voice, heavy. "We need to talk." "Pretty sure we do not. You knew the shot was coming, calculated the angle, warned me with exactly enough time to move." He pushed off the wall, moving toward her. "That is not waitress training." "Lucky guess." "I do not believe in luck." He stopped 3 feet away. Staff Sergeant Zara Mitchell, scout sniper, 2 deployments, decorated twice, then vanished. "Honorable discharge under classified circumstances. Your file has holes in it. The kind of holes governments put in files they want buried." "You ran a background check on me?" "I run background checks on everyone. Yours was the only one that made me curious." Her hands trembled slightly, and she hated herself for it. "The men who tried to kill me tonight will try again," he continued. "When they realize a waitress somehow knew about the attack, they will assume you are working with me. Either way, you are a target now." The word dropped between them like a stone into still water. "I have resources, protection, safe houses. I can keep you alive while my people find who did this." "And in return? You tell me how a retired sniper ended up saving my life, and maybe help me figure out how someone got close enough to nearly put a bullet in my head." She should say no. Every rational thought screamed at her to refuse, but running was what got her here in the first place. Running from her past, running from every part of herself that made her dangerous. "I have conditions," she heard herself say. The corner of his mouth twitched. "I would expect nothing less." "No lies. If you cannot tell me something, say so. I am not one of your soldiers. We work together or not at all, and whatever we find, I do not take lives anymore. Not unless there is absolutely no other choice. Silence. His eyes searched her face. What happened to you? That is not part of our agreement. I know, I am asking anyway. By the way, if this story has you hooked, hit subscribe and the notification bell so you do not miss how this ends. Trust me, we are just getting started. The Hunnock sat hidden in the hills above Koreatown like a secret someone had been keeping for decades. Dark wood and curved roof lines and a courtyard with a garden that smelled like rain and memory. My grandmother built this in 1971, Min-jun said, watching her take in the space. She needed one place that felt like home. It is beautiful. It is the only place in this city where I remember how to breathe. He said it quietly, like a confession he had not meant to make, and Zara understood exactly what he meant. They settled in a room with paper walls and the soft glow of lanterns. I had a spotter, Zara finally said. Davis. We worked together for 2 years. He was the only person who ever saw me miss. Her voice went flat. Target verified, clean setup. Then a child walked into frame. Maybe 6 years old. I hesitated, waited for a clear shot. 3 seconds. Secondary shooter we had not identified. Davis took the hit covering me. I held him while he bled out. Evac was 7 minutes away. He was gone in 4. Min-jun did not offer empty comfort, did not tell her it was not her fault. He just listened. My brother, he said quietly. Jun-ho. Younger by 4 years. He was going to be a doctor, the good one. I protected him from everything, made sure our business never touched him. He moved to the window, his back to her. 2 years ago, someone wanted to hurt me. Could not reach me, so they reached him instead, made it look like an accident. By the time I got to the hospital, his hand was already cold. Their eyes met across the quiet room. So you understand? She whispered. I understand, and you understand why I cannot stop. Because whoever is hunting me now might be the same people who took my brother. This next part changed everything between them. Not romance yet, something deeper. 2 broken people recognizing their own wounds in someone else. They worked through the night, files spread across the dining table, photographs and reports. 5 faces in his inner circle who had access to his schedule the night of the attack. The shooter knew your exact position, Zara said. You changed tables when you arrived. Only someone inside could have communicated the new coordinates. All 5 of them were in contact with security that night, but only one excused himself twice in a 15-minute window. She tapped the timeline. Here and here. Sung-ho left the room at 9:47 and again at 9:53, both times for less than 90 seconds, long enough to send a message. Min-jun went very still. Sung-ho has been with me since we were 12 years old. He stood beside me at my brother's funeral. People change, loyalties shift, and someone in your house wanted you gone badly enough to bring in professionals. Zara met his eyes. I am not saying it is him. I am saying we need to look closer. The silence that followed was heavy with 20 years of brotherhood crumbling. Days blurred together after that, working side by side, analyzing patterns, and somewhere in those long hours, walls started crumbling. He brought her tea without asking, remembering she took it with honey. She stopped flinching when he moved into her space. Their silences became comfortable, their hands brushed reaching for the same document, and neither pulled away. On the 3rd day, her phone rang, unknown number. We know where you are. The voice was distorted. We know what you mean to him. Tick-tock. The line went dead. She did not tell him. That was her first secret, her first choice to protect him instead of sharing the burden. That night at 3 a.m, exhausted and running on cold tea, they found it. A discrepancy in communication logs, spoofed credentials, digital fingerprints pointing in only one direction. Min-jun went still, the dangerous kind of still. Are you sure? 97%. Sung-ho. The name came out like broken glass. I paid his father's debts. I flew in specialists for his sister's surgery. He was family. Sometimes family is the most dangerous enemy of all. He looked at her with pain raw and genuine. My brother trusted him, called him uncle. If he was involved in Junho's death, Zara reached across the table. Her hand covered his. He froze at the contact, then his fingers intertwined with hers, holding on like she was the only solid thing in a world turning to smoke. Do you know what it feels like to want someone you should run from? Because Zara was learning, and the lesson was terrifying. The confrontation came the next evening. Sung-ho arrived for what he believed was a routine meeting. Zara watched from the shadows. Conversation started normal, business, territory. Then Min-jun asked the question, "Where were you 3 weeks ago? The Tuesday before the restaurant?" A pause, barely noticeable, but Zara caught it. "Here, reviewing quarterly numbers." "Strange, because security logs show someone using your credentials to access my schedule while you were supposedly in Busan." The silence that followed was deafening. She watched Sung-ho's posture shift, watched 20 years of friendship die in real time. "How long have you known?" "Long enough." "You made me your shadow, Jun. Always behind you, never beside you. 20 years of being almost enough." "So you sold me to my enemies." Min-jun moved fast. One moment seated, the next Sung-ho against the wall, forearm pressed to throat. "You took my brother from me. Your brother was a mistake." Sung-ho was choking, but defiant. Needed him out of the way. Was not supposed to actually die. Zara stepped out of the shadows. "Min-jun," 2 words, soft like a question. "He is not worth it. His life is not worth your soul. Take the information. Dismantle his network, but not like this." Slowly, he released Sung-ho. "My people will take you somewhere quiet. You will tell them everything." As security dragged him away, Sung-ho called back, "You think I am the only one. They are already moving. You will not stop what is coming." Min-jun stood shoulders bowed, smaller than she had ever seen him. "Why did you stop me?" "Because I needed you to be someone worth believing in." Something cracked open between them. A door locked for years, swinging slowly open. Neither slept that night. They sat together in the garden, watching koi circle in the grandmother's pond, talking about brothers lost and partners buried and all the ways life broke you. When dawn came, her head was on his shoulder, his hand in her hair. Not lovers yet, but something that might become more if they were brave enough. This is the part that gave me chills, because being brave was about to become very necessary. The attack came at dawn on the 3rd day. Zara woke to perimeter alarms and her body moving before her brain caught up. 3 years of civilian life evaporated in an instant. East Wall breach. Min-jun was on his phone. Multiple hostiles, at least 12, professional. Too many for his reduced security team. Is there another way out? Underground tunnel leads to a garage 2 blocks east, but it will be a fight to get there. She looked at him. This man she had known barely a week, but somehow understood completely. Then we fight. They moved through the hanok like ghosts. She led. He followed her cues without question. The trust implicit in that made her chest tight. Gunfire erupted to their left, the sounds of a battle being lost. They reached the basement access, hidden door behind a bookshelf. The tunnel beyond was narrow and dark. Halfway through, footsteps ahead. Someone had found the other entrance. Zara pushed past Min-jun, her body moving on autopilot, training she had tried to bury surging back. "Stay behind me." "Zara, no." "This is what I was made for. Trust me." 2 figures emerged from darkness, armed, professional. 3 seconds, disarm, redirect. 2 bodies hitting ground, unconscious, alive. She kept her promise, but her hands shook when she finished. Not from exertion, from memory. Min-jun's hand found her shoulder, steadied her. "You are extraordinary. I am damaged. Those are not mutually exclusive." They almost reached the garage. Final hostile appeared from nowhere, weapon aimed directly at Min-jun's chest. No time to react. Zara stepped in front of him. Time stopped. She saw the weapon, saw the finger tightening on trigger, saw the trajectory the bullet would take through her body. And she did not move. The shot never came, gun jammed, 1 in 1,000 malfunction. Zara closed distance in half a heartbeat. 3 moves. The man went down. Silence. Min-jun stared at her. "You would have taken that bullet." "Yes." "Why?" She looked at him, this beautiful, dangerous, broken man. "Because losing you would be worse than anything that bullet could do to me." The words hung between them. heavier than lead, lighter than air. Then they were in the car, tearing through dawn streets. He pulled off at a viewpoint overlooking the ocean, sun rising gold and rose. 3 days ago, you were a stranger. Now you are the only person in the world I trust. They called me, she said, the secret she had kept. 3 days ago, said they knew where I was, knew what I meant to you. I did not tell you. I am sorry. He absorbed this. What do you mean to me? The question knocked breath from her lungs. I do not know. That is what scares me. He reached for her slowly. His hand cupped her face with gentleness that seemed impossible. You mean everything. Somewhere between that whisper and this sunrise, you became the only thing that matters. We have known each other a week. This is insane. We are both broken. I know, his forehead touched hers. Tell me to stop. She should. Every survival instinct screamed it. But she had spent 3 years being safe and alone and slowly suffocating. I do not want you to stop. His lips met hers, soft at first, then deeper. A kiss that tasted like new beginnings and the impossible hope that 2 broken people could put each other back together. Come home with me, not as protection, because you want to. Because whatever this is deserves a chance. She thought about everything she had run from. Okay, I will stay. The weeks that followed were not easy. Dismantling Sung Ho's network took time. Learning how to be 2 damaged people in something resembling a relationship took longest of all. But they figured it out, day by day, kiss by kiss. She kept her conditions. He kept his promises. And slowly they built something new in that old house with curved roof lines and grandmother's memory in every beam. Some nights she woke screaming, and he was there, holding her, not asking questions, just present until morning came. Some nights he stared at photographs of his brother for hours, and she sat beside him, silent, her hand on his back, letting him know he was not alone. They were not fixed. That is not how healing works, but they were healing together. One morning, 6 months later, she woke before him, watched him sleep in the gray pre-dawn light. She leaned close, brushed her lips against his ear. "Duck," she whispered. His eyes opened. That smile broke across his face like sunrise. She settled against him, listening to his heartbeat, knowing that whatever came next, they would face it together. Girl, I have told you a lot of stories about love found in impossible places, about people who had no business fitting together, somehow becoming each other's missing pieces. But this one got me right here. Because the truth is, love does not care about logic, does not care about danger or history or all the reasons you should walk away. Love just finds you, usually when you least expect it, and asks if you are brave enough to say yes. Zara was brave enough, Minjun was brave enough, and together they built something neither thought they would ever have again. One whispered word in a crowded restaurant, one moment of choice, and 2 broken lives that somehow became whole. Thank you for staying with me through this one. They deserved their ending, and wherever you are, I hope you are finding yours too. Until next time.